Opponents of California's assisted suicide bill say it's a vote for death and should be of concern for all people of all ages across the nation. Randy Thomason with Save California joins me now. Randy, supporters have tried for a while to get it passed. Where does the bill stand now?
Well, at this moment, we are actually responding to the reintroduction of the suicide promotion bill in California. Though it was stopped in committee twice due to actually some reluctant Democrats on the committee, the bill is now being pushed in a special session under a new bill number. And so it's just the assisted suicide bill that is being attempted to be jammed through the state legislature. It's going to be a very, very close vote, which is why we're fighting. This is a winnable battle for life.
Why is it so close this year?
It's always been close. The legislature of California has never passed assisted suicide. Only this year did one house of our legislature pass assisted suicide. But they were emboldened to do it, the pro-suicide groups, because there's a supermajority of Democrats in control of the legislature. So it's their politicians, and they wanted to get their agenda through. That's why they're pushing it this year. But people have been fighting hard. People of faith, people who know that this is a very badly written bill, a very poor agenda that would abuse the elderly in particular.
Those in favor of assisted suicide would say an able-minded person should be able to make this decision with their doctor. And one example is Brittany Maynard, a 29-year-old diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. She received a fatal diagnosis, and she decided she didn't want to put herself or her family through the trauma of dying with inoperable brain cancer. Many people tried to tell her stories of people fighting cancers like this and winning, but she took her life with the help of a doctor in November last year. What's your response to that line of thinking, and why, in your opinion, is it dangerous?
Well, hopefully she had a choice. She decided to become a very public figure. But after her death, there were doctors that did come out and say, look, she could have been treated. There were natural doctors who said there are cures, natural cures for cancer. And there were other techniques. So, but we have to look at what's really happening in Oregon, where since 1997 there's been assisted suicide. People are being told they're terminal without regard to treatment. Even a person with diabetes in Oregon is eligible for assisted suicide. Why? Because they say if you're insulin dependent, you're terminal. Well, that's not right. That's not fair. So people are cutting their lives short unnecessarily. Also, they're not being told about natural cures. And when it comes to the administration of a lethal drug, there's no oversight. There's no witness. There's no doctor. A legal heir could administer the drug. The law in Oregon and in California, the bill are both similar, allowing someone else to administer the lethal drug. That is called euthanasia, when someone else gets rid of you. The death certificate has to be falsified. It cannot say suicide. It can't say homicide, even if it was suicide or homicide. So this is not real choice, even for people who call it choice, even for people who support the notion of assisted suicide. This is not their bill because it's euthanasia.
Randy, how should Christians view this? What does the Bible say about it?
From Genesis to Revelation, we see God's unnegotiable principles supporting protection for innocent human life from conception to natural death. And that's what people who go with the Bible should support. How many people at the end of life, if they have a slow death, have reconciled with family members? How many people who are dying have come to Jesus? How many people have given words of wisdom to their grandchildren? You see, we need to support the natural design for life and death like God designed it. But then when we tweak with it, well, I'm sorry, it's opening the door to euthanasia and elderly abuse. Unfortunately, the state, HMOs, and even some hospitals would use this as a path of elder abuse, getting rid of people before their time, seeing them as a dollar sign, not as a valuable creation of God.
Assisted suicide is legal currently in 3 states. Do you know how matters of health care and life have changed in these states? And could doctors ultimately be promoting death instead of life?
Doctors in Oregon, they are telling us that they routinely are seeing patients being told they're terminal and recommended that they commit suicide with this lethal drug because they're terminal. In fact, there's a woman who filed a court affidavit. She applied for treatment from the state, and the state sent her a letter. Well, we won't give you treatment, but here's how you can commit suicide. We see over and over that this is being expanded. Doctors are being pressured to recommend suicide. Hospitals are recommending suicide. There's also the expansion of conventional suicides. In other words, regular suicides, not doctor-assisted suicides, but regular suicides have been increasing in Oregon ever since 1997 when the suicide law was implemented. See, young people in particular are getting the idea that suicide is the answer to problems. And so assisted suicide is a terrible message to send to young people.
What can folks who are pro-life in California and around the world and in the nation do?
Visit our website, savecalifornia.com, for action steps. We've identified the deciding votes on the floor of the California Assembly. Everybody can help. Californians can call. Californians can rally. Call our office. We've got more for you to do. People can donate and support our effort. We're fighting to protect the world from a California suicide state because it would be a tremendous bad influence. This bill can be stopped if people will rise up now.
We have a link to savecalifornia.com at our website. Go there for more on this story and more from Save California. Randy Thomason, thanks for your time.
Thank you.